me! Help me! Somebody help me!
Huh. You're scared now. I like that.
When he lying and shit.
No, wait. Six. Money!
You don't run, you don't get no tuition, right?
That's the way the system goes.
Run.
Don't flick. Stand still. I said don't flick.
Oh!
You think he did?
Nah, he ain't dead. He's just Let's go talk to him now.
Don't drop the soap, big homie.
I hope you know that when he gets out, he's gonna kill your ass.
I'll see you soon. You think he gonna get out?
If Hollywood had a don't play with me list, John Singleton would have been near the top, bolded, underlined twice, and probably written in all caps. He didn't just make movies. He came in like a cinematic wrecking ball and told the whole industry, we're doing this my way. And they listened, eventually. At just 24 years old, Singleton pulled off what most directors only dream of. He dropped Boys in the Hood.
We got a problem here? We got a problem there?
Raw, unfiltered look at life in South Central Los Angeles. And boom, he became the youngest person and the first Black filmmaker ever nominated for Best Director at the Oscars. But it wasn't just about trophies. Singleton's films had a pulse. They made people uncomfortable in the best way. He gave us Tupac with poetry, Janet Jackson with attitude, and Tyrese trying his best not to cry in Baby Boy.
Don't go! Don't go! You gonna choose this over me?
And yes, we're going to talk about all of it, the genius, the drama, the complicated parts, because Singleton's story was just as layered as the characters he brought to life. Let's rewind to where it all started, before the cameras, the controversies, and the classic one-liners. John Daniel Singleton was born January 6th, 1968, in Los Angeles, California, specifically in South Central, aka the neighborhood Hollywood avoided, unless it needed a dramatic backdrop. His mom, Sheila Ward, was a pharmaceutical sales executive. His dad, Danny Singleton, was a mortgage broker. Now here's the twist. Little John wasn't dreaming of directing movies with helicopters and car chases. He was a comic book geek, a full-blown Marvel fan who could name every X-Men character before the credits rolled.
Adventures with my comic book heroes and Daredevil and Iron Fist and Luke Cage and stuff, and
He was also obsessed with film, but not just for the popcorn. He'd analyze how movies were made, even as a kid. By the time he hit high school, he was already writing scripts and calling himself a future director. It was just common sense. He got into USC's School of Cinematic Arts, and that's where the hustle got real. And when I say real, I mean every paper he turned in was a script. The man wasn't submitting essays, he was submitting screenplays. And apparently, he was good enough that his professors just went with it.
I said, listen, I have no time to come to class. I'm gonna write this damn screenplay. I'm gonna give it to you, and I want an A.
His breakout moment came fresh out of college with Boys in the Hood.
Find some excuse to shoot somebody.
That's why fools be getting shot all the time.
Yes, the one with Cuba Gooding Jr. yelling, Ice Cube glaring, and Lawrence Fishburne delivering fatherly advice like he invented it. It premiered at Cannes, made critics lose their minds, and got Singleton those 2 Oscar nods. At just 24, he was out here showing big-time directors how it's done.
I'm gonna make movies. You are not gonna make movies. You have nothing to talk about. You know, I have life.
That didn't just launch his career, it kicked open a door for Black filmmakers and dared Hollywood to stop pretending street stories didn't belong on the big screen. After Boys in the Hood hit the scene in 1991, Hollywood didn't know what to do with John Singleton, but he knew exactly what to do with Hollywood. He released Poetic Justice in 1993.
You like that, huh?
Singleton said, let's take Janet Jackson, pair her with Tupac, and give the world a Black love story with poetry, trauma, and iconic braids. And it worked. Critics were mixed, but fans were all in. Also, can we talk about how he got Janet to do her first on-screen kiss? And fun fact, Janet insisted Tupac take an AIDS test before filming it. Because if she was gonna lock lips on screen, she was gonna do it on her terms. Bold, responsible, and honestly, kind of hilarious. Then came Higher Learning in 1995.
All these people turn around and look you dead in your eye.
This wasn't your average campus drama. Singleton packed that script with racial tension, gun violence, SA, and a neo-Nazi subplot, all in 2 hours. Most college movies give you beer pong and relationship drama. Singleton gave you identity politics and Michael Rappaport with a sniper rifle. By the time Rosewood dropped in 1997, he was done playing it safe.
I'm just saying I don't mess with your peoples. I don't want you messing with mine.
The film tackled the real-life 1923 massacre of a black town in Florida.
The experience of making this film has, in a way, transformed me as a man and as a filmmaker.
It was brutal, brilliant, and ahead of its time, and the message hit like a truck. In 2001, Singleton switched gears and dropped Baby Boy. Yes, the one with Tyrese Gibson having a full emotional breakdown while Ving Rhames cooked breakfast naked.
Want some breakfast?
It was chaotic, powerful, and low-key a coming-of-age film wrapped in soap opera vibes. Singleton originally wrote it for Tupac, but after Pac's death, he passed the torch to Tyrese.
And then John met me, and he said, man, you remind me of Tupac.
And love him or side-eye him, Tyrese did what needed to be done. Then Singleton threw a complete curveball and directed Too Fast, Too Furious in 2003. After all the social commentary and drama, he said, you know what? I want to blow up some cars in Miami. It was loud, glossy, and gave Ludacris and Eva Mendes their franchise start. Was it Oscar bait? No. Did it make money? Yes, it made a lot. He kept things moving with Four Brothers in 2005. The gritty Mark Wahlberg-led revenge film that proved Singleton could still do action with edge. After that, he worked on Abduction in 2011.
You killed my parents!
Stop. I'll tell you what you need to know. But I'm not dying here.
Showing he could even handle teen thriller territory. But John wasn't just about films. When TV came calling, he dominated. In 2017, he co-created Snowfall, FX's Raw series about the rise of, let's say, the white stuff in 1980s Los Angeles.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick.
Critics slept on it at first, but it eventually became a cult hit and proof that Singleton's lens on Black America was still unmatched. He directed several episodes, mentored the young cast, and poured his real-life experiences into every detail. This wasn't just TV, it was legacy work. And let's not forget, John directed music videos too, for Michael Jackson and Ludacris, because why not? His whole vibe was cinematic, even in 3-minute videos. So what made Singleton so unique? Well, he didn't just cast actors, he launched icons. He gave us Morris Chestnut, Regina King, Ice Cube the actor, Taraji P. Henson, and Tyrese Gibson the leading man. He had an eye for talent. He made films that didn't beg for approval. They told you how it is, then rolled credits. Now, John Singleton wasn't just busy behind the camera. His personal life had its own, let's call it, plot twists. The man had 7 children with 5 different women.
That's a lot of people.
He was married once, very briefly, to Ghanaian actress Akosua Busia in 1996. The marriage barely lasted a year, but it gave him a daughter, Hadar, who went on to become a singer and actress herself. His other kids include names like Justice Maya, Masai, and 7.
What?
Yes, 7. Singleton made it clear that he cared about being a father, even if the whole settle down with one woman thing wasn't exactly his style. And to be fair, balancing Hollywood, activism, and 7 kids is probably enough to make anybody avoid PTA meetings. Still, for all the messiness, he was present, vocal, and proud of his kids. And that mattered to him just as much as his box office numbers. For all the praise John Singleton earned, his name didn't stay squeaky clean. Behind the camera, he was a visionary. But off-set, things occasionally got complicated. Let's start with 1999. Singleton was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence. He was accused of hitting the mother of one of his daughters after an argument escalated. The alleged incident involved pushing and slapping. And while Singleton was arrested, he denied it all. No formal charges stuck, but the headlines were not pretty, and they definitely added a dent to his public image. Fast forward to 2017, during the height of the Me Too movement, journalist Danielle Young accused John Singleton of sexual harassment at a press event, describing not just inappropriate comments about her body, but a whole pattern of uncomfortable behavior. Singleton never publicly responded to the claims and no legal action followed, but the moment sparked widespread online discussion. People were divided. Was it just bad flirting or something deeper and more damaging? And then there's the Tyra Banks connection. In her book, Tyra talked about being emotionally abused by a Hollywood figure. She never named him, but fans connected some dots and suggested it might have been Singleton, whom she briefly dated in the 90s. Again, no confirmation, no response, and no official receipts. But the speculation still floats in celebrity gossip corners like a song stuck on low volume. And just to stir the pot a little more, Singleton caught heat for his defense of R. Kelly back in the early 2000s. He argued that people should separate art from the artist, an opinion that aged like milk in the sun. Once the full scope of the R. Kelly scandal unfolded, Singleton's take looked way off key. He never really walked it back either, which only made things messier. None of the scandals he was involved in erased his impact, but it did complicate the narrative. Singleton wasn't a flawless hero. He was a talented, layered, very human figure who made powerful art and sometimes made questionable choices. In early 2019, John Singleton checked into Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles after experiencing leg pain following a trip to Costa Rica. What he didn't know, and what nobody expected, was that this was the start of his final days. He suffered a major stroke on April 17th, and though initial reports said he was recovering, things took a turn for the worse. After nearly 2 weeks in a coma, Singleton was removed from life support on April 29th, 2019. He died at the age of 51, way too young for a man with that much vision still in him. Hollywood reacted fast. Tributes poured in from across the industry. Directors, actors, musicians, and fans all acknowledged that a real one was gone, whether they knew him personally or just through the stories he told. One thing was clear: Singleton didn't just make movies, he made moments. As the first Black filmmaker nominated for a Best Director Oscar, he left behind a blueprint of films that are still studied, quoted, and hit just as hard today. He earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2003, multiple NAACP Image Awards. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $35 million, and his legacy unshakable.